Operation Status Quo. Operation Status Quo. Prepare to engage. Operation Status Quo. Ready to engage. Operation Status Quo. Engaged. Engaged. Engaged indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, my friends, my beautiful people. This beautiful community of love and togetherness. You know, sometimes I feel like when I say that, like, am I being sarcastic? I want you people to know I am not being sarcastic when I talk about love and togetherness and all the beauty that we have in our world and all that kind of stuff that goes on. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just playing with my sound effects over here. Anyway, hello and welcome. Operation Status Quo. Today is the 23rd of May in the good year 2023. I am Pete Palma. So happy to have you with me here today. What was I going to say? I was going to say, of course, Operation Status Quo. First of all, let me take a breath if I could, because it's been a little bit of a day, you know, and I'm not going to get into it, you know, because I'm always sometimes I come on, I feel like, you know, I don't want to just start complaining about nonsense, because I'm really not a complainer or a drama person, and most stuff doesn't bother me too much. But I do mention about my work from time to time, and, you know, it is what it is. It's just it's really just a legitimate disgrace. But I guess you got to somehow keep the lights on. So for now, this is what's happening. But anyway, it's fine. But this is Operation Status Quo, where, of course, we learn to observe the status quo. Then we learn to flow with the status quo. And then we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go, don't you know? Because ultimately in this world, you know, it's up to us to make our decisions, which work best for us. Maybe that's what I should say to myself right now. Like, you know, just quit that. Where's my applause? Quit that damn job. Quit it. Let's just get the hell out of there. Stop letting these people make you upset. If I do that, though, I'm going to start asking you guys for donations. Do you mind? Do you mind supporting this nonsense so I can just come here and do this? 50 cents? Anything? Oh, God. All right, okay. All right, are we done with the AIs? I think we are. Okay, good. I'm just teasing, of course, but it is a funny dynamic, because I really do, and that's what what I was going to talk about today a little bit overall. I definitely do believe in whatchamacallit, in the power we have to make our own decisions and build our life based on our beliefs and everything like that. It's really up to us. We have that power of manifestation. You know, we're all connected to the larger, broader frequencies of the universe, as it were, and you know, what we tune into, just like a radio, you know, what we tune into is basically what we wind up listening to, right? Just like on the radio. So when you tune into a sports station, you're going to hear sports. You know, if you tune into classical music, that's what you're going to hear. So whatever you tune into in your mind, positive, negative, your life, all that kind of stuff, that's what you're going to tune into, and that's what you're going to hear or see or, you know, experience and all that kind of thing. So today's episode is entitled Equal and Opposite, because I had a thought yesterday. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and while we were talking, it kind of like stuck in my head, or popped up in my head, that when I was younger, you know, I would say this was like, you know, my late teens, you know, about that kind of time, and when like finally, I don't know, I just kind of had this idea. I mean, I know it's a normal thing for every action, equal and opposite reaction, you know, but I guess I took it to heart, you know, in a sense of realizing that there is, for every action, equal and opposite reaction. And that's why I never really kind of got crazy, you know, with life in any way, or like blame, or, you know, I mean, I've definitely improved over the years. We all, you know, point fingers at times, or, you know, think outside influences are, you know, controlling what's going on in our lives, when really, you know, it comes from us. But because I had that kind of basis of, like, you know, for every action, equal and opposite reaction, you know, I always looked at it as like, you know, and again, I talk about this all the time on this program of, you know, there is no good or bad, there is no right or wrong, you know, and all that type of stuff, and not having judgment. And I realized, you know, that's kind of like where it stemmed from when I was younger, with the, you know, equal and no, every action is an equal and opposite reaction. So I never got too crazy about anything. I got my come here, buddy. Let me introduce you to. Oh, come here, Mr. Miles. I got my cat here. Hold on. I know, poor guy. Come on up, buddy. Oops. Here he is. Hey, everybody, Mr. Miles. Say hello to the world. Here's a round of applause for Mr. Miles, the official cat of Operation Status Quo. You want to say anything to the people out there? No? You want to go back down? All right. I thought I'd introduce him to you. Maybe that'll get me an extra subscriber. It's like, forget everything else and just, and oh, look, he's got a cat. Well, I'll subscribe. No, but seriously, thank you, though, for the people who've been subscribing. We're up to 494, so it's chipping away. I think just a week ago we were, or something like that, we were at 487. So little by little, edging our way to that 500 mark. Maybe we'll hit it by the end of, where are we? Maybe we'll hit it by summer. I don't know. Let's see. Can we get 6 people to feel like they want to participate in this? But anyway, for every action equal and opposite reaction. So I'm laying this out to say, when I was younger, I took that, and it always kind of gave me a sense of, calm, in a way, of like not ever taking anything too seriously in certain regards, because that everything's always kind of a balance of energy. For as bad as something may be on this side, there's something else equally as good on the other side. And that's what I try to preach here, of what's going on like in our world today. Again, for all the kind of evil and persecution that has been placed on the general humanity for generations, that energy is now kind of transitioning into the positive side, where it doesn't seem it right now. No, but we're transitioning into the positive side, basically, where we're now, the structures that were our imprisonment, as it were, are kind of like, fading away. And, you see these communities building up in different things, everything that's going on online, and different information that people are researching, asking more questions, not, except there's always going to be, a facet of the society that I guess is just never going to, and again, that comes down to every action equal and opposite reaction, because for having people in the world that are, really seeking higher truths or different types of information, that energy has to balance as well. So you're going to have a group of people that are not even going to be attuned to the idea of looking for different ways of thinking or higher levels of energy or any of that type of stuff, because it's all cyclical, and it's all a balance. It's really, and again, it goes back to, to go even, deeper in a sense, is that we have to remember that there is no separation and everything is one as it is. And, essentially, we're all just like little pieces of God that is, God's just decided he wanted to have some fun. God's like, I'm just kind of like, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the oneness of energy, says, I want to explore myself, or I'm tired of just being, oneness all the time. I want to experience this. That's why, again, for every action equal and opposite reaction, right? For the total oneness that we all are one pure energy, there's the opposite, where we are these individual bodies and feel, that we're separate from everything, and the outside, is the influences. But again, in reality, it's emanating from within, but it doesn't seem that way from our perception, based on our perception, right? Because we're in this body and we're looking out and around and we're going, oh my God, no, that's there and that's there, and this is the table, and all that type of stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know, that's always what I'm trying to strive for here. Try to do like talk about different things and a variety of content, bring on different people to speak and such, and anyway, I just feel that like what I'm looking for mostly is to just give people a space to take a breath and look at things in a different way and say, what's going on? What's going on? Like, what is on my, like, I want to go deeper, like, what is my life for, or anything like that. But people generally don't ask these types of questions, right? They just kind of float through, and everything just happens, and they think things are happening. I've said this like a gazillion times, that I can't say how happy I am about what's going on in the world today and overall. I've been waiting for the structures to collapse. Since as long as I can remember. I always felt like I don't understand why anybody's even putting up with this stuff. It's obvious all the leaders are, in cahoots, and they're all liars and thieves, and nothing is really done for the benefit of humanity or anything. You see everything that's going on during COVID and everything else. What have the powers that be, what have they done to like really say to help people? Like, oh, it's just the way even here in this country, and I'm not picking on the current administration, because this is a problem that's been going on for generations and generations. But excuse me, they always come on and say, oh, like even when the gas prices were going up, and Biden's like, oh, it's not our fault, it's because of Russia and the war or whatever. I mean, it's always somebody else's fault, or this happened, or we're trying so hard. And I'm thinking to myself, like, are you trying? It's like, I said this in another video. I work for the government, and it's like, I mean, are you really trying? Because I see what goes on. That's why I'm frustrated today. My brain's all over the place. I have no coherent thoughts. That's what really got me agitated today. It's like, hey-o. They kept throwing me off task, because of the way they operate. Let me make this clear. I'm a very clean operator, all right? I say this all the time. I can get a lot done in a short amount of time. I can focus and, just give me a task. I knock it out, just show me, and like this place is all like, they decide to have a meeting here or they decide to have a meeting there. I don't want to be, I'm not a slave. I'm not working from home until I could be a slave. If I want to be a slave, I go back to sitting in the cubicle all day, So it's just like, I don't want to be on the hook 24/7. Give me a task. Let me know what needs to be done. If there's an emergency, we could talk about it. But, like these guys, it's always an emergency. All right, I'm going off task. I'm going off task. I'm sorry. But it just got me worked up. I know. It really did. All right. Can I get rid of this? Can we stop this now? Thank you.
Hey-o.
I appreciate that. So, and I feel like a lot of times, like, with all, and I know this is an example of like what I'm saying, just the way our world is created and designed to keep us suppressed in a sense, or all that kind of stuff. It's like, just think about how we are slaves to these goofy jobs, and how much, if I was a person that actually really tried to work, I wouldn't have time to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like these people are like hardcore serious, like trying to make a career out of doing shit that don't mean anything. And they're scared to death not to do it because they're going to get in trouble. And this is what I'm talking about. So again, we'll go back to equal and opposite. For every action, equal and opposite reaction. So for every chooch, as I would like to call them, that takes this stuff seriously and thinks they want to be a big mover and shaker business person, that for that, the opposite energy is me. It's just is me. I don't give a F. I don't care. I'll slap some shit together in a file. It doesn't matter. 6 other people are going to review it and criticize it anyway. You guys do it. You guys put it together the way you want it, so you feel happy. Get the font right. Get the text right. All that shit.
Hey-o.
Oh my gosh. All right. But it does hold true. It's what I'm saying. It's just like we've been suppressed for a long time, and the socio-economic structure that has been built, keeps people running, spinning their wheels. I see it. I feel badly. I feel even worse, really, for some of the younger people coming up, because the world is so out of control and different, and everything's all over the place, and they're trying to just get their career started and all this kind of thing. Thank God for me, I've got years in and done my thing over and over, and whatever. I can give an F, this job, that job. I'll go deliver a pizza. Whatever you need, it's like I'd almost rather go deliver pizzas. At least, like, instead of working for the government, at least like delivering pizza serves a function. Even though the pizza's poison, but it serves a function, right? Like somebody calls, they order a pizza. The pizza place makes the pizza. I take the pizza to the person. The person pays for the pizza. The person eats the pizza. You see, there's like, but when you work for the government, there's nothing like that. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no actual functionality. There's no clear, concise like point. Okay, this is the task. This is the how to get the task done, and this is we complete the task. There's none of that. There's a task. You talk about the task for maybe 6 weeks. Then you start to do the task. Then the task gets reviewed. Then the task gets tabled, and then you're on to a new task, and then you got to go back to the old task. Then eventually maybe you complete the original task. By then you're halfway through the next task, and when you maybe complete the second or third task, then they go back to the first task, and we have to re-review the first task and make adjustments to the first task. Do you see what I'm saying? That is what this world has been built. It's just a euphemism, whatever, a living manifestation example, of exactly what's going on.
It is pointless to resist.
Get out of here, Vader. No, it's not pointless to resist. You can resist. Oh, I'm sorry. I kicked my cat. I'm sorry, Mr. Miles. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I get. I'm all over the place. And, this program is a place where I would like for you to I would like for you to find solace, and I hope that you're finding some sort of solace in my mania. But it is mania. I know I'm a little bit of a maniac, and it's okay. I have nothing bad to say. I'm not mad at anybody. I don't want to fight with anybody. I really just want other people like to just I shouldn't even say that because it's not my that's an ego thing saying I want other people to as a more aware. I realize that we're all on journeys and this is what it is, and you just kind of flow. But I am speaking from a little bit of an ego space right now, in my personal thoughts, and I guess in a way I would like for people to think differently in a sense that it only benefits the group is what I'm saying. Like, if we all come from this space of helping each other and working together and, and building communities instead of like just all being running around scared, and trying to be slaves of the system, because we're afraid we're going to get in trouble or they're going to take our money away or this, that, or the other. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do it. We can do it. So, I mean, that's basically the gist of everything of what I'm trying to say here today. It's just a reminder, and again, the equal and opposite. Every action, equal and opposite reaction. There's always going to be a yin yang. There's always going to be, yes, no. But there is I was just going to say there's good, bad. But the truth is, with all that, there is no right or wrong, good or bad. Ultimately, it's all just expressions of frequencies and such. And going back to what I said, it's like, what do you want to resonate, with? What channel do you want to tune into so that you can flourish the best that you can. And the positive, I guess I'll kind of wrap it up with this in a sense. The positive overall is basically this, is that the world really is changing. And I know some people are realizing it. Some people don't think it'll ever really happen or whatever. But, whatever, age you are or wherever you come from of your life before 2020 and the fake pandemic, before all that, that was it. That was like the catalyst, it was like a hard stop, obviously. And I don't even think that, I think that would, in a way too, as much as that seemed like that was a bad thing, we would label that as, oh my gosh, it was a bad thing, but really it wasn't a bad thing. I mean, think about what's come of it, since then. People are starting to look differently on how they want to spend their time and, who they want to be with in their life and what family means and, all different types of things. People learning how to grow food and do different things that they never would have done before, pick up hobbies that they had left behind and all kinds of stuff, So, and I just think, it was a catalyst to send us. I mean, it was happening really since, 2012. I mean, that's the whole thing with the Mayan calendar ending, and we were going into another phase of humanity basically, and it built up to this point. And here now, this is like the transition period. It's almost like what I guess when you would say a pregnant mother goes into labor, you got the cramps and all that, and you got to wait, how long before the baby comes out, and that's kind of like, where we are. We're in this like painful, oh God, get this out of me stage, and, and working towards building, what's coming next. And that's why I would say, and what I try to show here on Operation Status Quo, we're observing what's going on in the world, but we're not getting upset. We're not attaching, although I probably seem like I'm upset today, but I'm not really upset. I just get frustrated because I just really have a soft, loving heart. I really care about people. I think our world is beautiful. I think people are wonderful, and we all have so much to share and explore and learn. And, it's just a real shame that our world is created the way it is to keep people so pigeonholed in the little, as I always say, the little petri. It's my little petri dish. I turn the bell upside down. We have our little petri dish of shit that they keep us in all the time. And so just remember, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for all the suppression that we've felt over the years and generations, and, I feel badly for people that were really great in my life that have passed on like years before that never get to see this come to fruition. Although they'll see it again, I guess, when they reincarnate in a future time, if they're not really already here already. I always think maybe my cat is somebody that passed on that I know. Miles, are you my grandparents or somebody? I don't know. We can ask him later. We'll bring him back. Maybe I should do an interview with Miles one day. What do you guys think? I can put him up here on the put him up here on the table and ask him a few cat questions. Ask him if he likes the food I make him. If he finds that his litter box is properly cleaned, which it is. I clean the litter box every day because nobody wants to shit in a dirty toilet, right? So you got to take care of your animals, for God's sake, people. They're not just pets. That's the funny thing too. I know I'm going all kinds of tangents, but with people with pets, like I think even with babies, even more so. Obviously, it's a human life. Everyone should be vetted in some way before they actually are put in charge of caring for another living creature. I see a lot of things how people take care of their dogs and all, and I probably never thought of it as much because until I got this guy and started really watching everything he did and learning and saying what was the best way, and I started to realize, I don't know, just my heart opened up to like, my gosh, these animals, like, they really need our help. So, help your animal, love your pet, give your pet real food, good food, make sure you play, take them out for walks, don't just leave them behind and I got to go and I'm busy and it's just for like a novelty, like how people have babies it's just fun. I have a baby, or it's just fun. I got a little chihuahua that I put in my purse or something when I walk around, but the chihuahua, it needs love too. It doesn't need to just be in your purse all day long. So anyway, but that's where we're headed. We're headed to, a better, beautiful world. So don't be shocked. Don't be upset. Don't be worried as these systems and structures collapse and everything that goes on. Just stay positive and vibrate at the frequency you want to vibrate, and just remember that everything's happening, everything's there. There's always going to be the one side and the other, and it's always going to be going on, and it's just really up to us to make the choices and vibe. And if we all do it, that's the part I'm talking about. If we all just really just soften our hearts and have some love and just be kind to one another, everything else will take care of itself. Like, we're creations of God. God doesn't want angst and fighting and all this type of stuff, right? Overall, I guess it is what it is. I'm sure I don't have the full breadth of understanding in a sense, because it is what it is. We wouldn't be here in this human form if it wasn't meant to be difficult in certain ways that we have to learn and all that type of stuff. So, we have to go with it, but we can go with it with, peace in our hearts and without judgment, and with the realization that we are already complete no matter what happens in this life. Like, it's not a loss. I think sometimes, like, I think of people who really are suffering or, really don't have anything, or, homeless people, or, mentally ill homeless people wandering the streets. Like, I see this stuff and I think, like, I'm complaining about, like, some of my circumstances from time to time. I'm like, not for anything. Like, what would I be thinking if that was me? Like, is my life a waste? Am I a nobody because I'm sitting here outside all day under a tree, asking for change? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that expression is made, in perfection, by God for whatever reason, the part it plays in the whole overall manifestation of the energies. So, and that person is just as much divine as anybody else. So I'm saying that's in our world, right? We perceive these things of who's better, what's a waste of life, what's a good life, and it really doesn't matter. You can have the best life in the world or the worst life in the world, and at the end of the day, you wind up in the same space, in the midst of truth and oneness and love and beauty. So we shouldn't place so much judgment. I'm speaking to myself too, because I know I do it a lot. Like, think of, I'm at this age and, how I'm trying to get to this or this, boo-boo, and all these type of things sometimes that run through our brains. And we have to remember to let that all go, and let that all go and not. I think I'm doing this is self-therapy right now, ladies. This is a self-therapy. I should retitle this Pete's Tuesday self-therapy session. You don't need a therapist. Just keep talking. It'll all come out. Hey-o. So,
stop yanking my chain.
Get out of here. We're telling the truth. But anyway, yeah. So, no judgment and everything. You just go with the flow, and don't be afraid of what's going on in the outside world. Again, just find your center, make your space. Live your life, be happy, connect to source, and it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. That's it. I'm going to leave it there because I lost my train of thought, and I'll just start another 6 tangents. And I think enough is enough, and this is more than enough. It's been overwhelmingly enough. Right, Mr. Miles? He's still down here. I'm going to say hello one more time. Hey, buddy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look in the camera. Can you get in the camera? Ooh, there he is. he's looking at me like, what the F? And believe me, I usually don't pick him up and move him all around like that, But I wanted to bring him up to the camera to say hello. Well, I give him a little roughness once in a while, but he likes it. He likes to scratch me up. Once in a while, I get some scars. I can show you my scratch scars. All right, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, stay loving, stay calm, stay peaceful. Remember that everything's happening the way it should. It's a beautiful space. This is Operation Status Quo. We observe the status quo. We learn to flow with the quo. We create our own flow with quo, because that's the only way to go. Don't forget how important you are to me and this show. I would love for you of course, I would love for you to, if it resonates with you, to subscribe and to like and to share and to send it out to your friends, your family, those you love and those you despise. And even more importantly, I would love for you to be a part of the program. So if you're interested to share some topics or have a conversation, you're welcome to come on. You're welcome to send me information of topics you'd like me to cover. Whatever works for you works for me. We work together. That's what it's all about. We're just trying to build a community here. I'm just one man that's a man of the people. And that's what I'm here. And, it can't be just me. Obviously, you're watching what I'm doing. It can't just be. We need all of us. I need help. I need your help. Don't you understand? Somebody, please, for God's sake, help me. Where's my other little... Let's do this guy today. All right, seriously. Thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. And we got lots of great stuff. I actually got my brother coming back again this week. I think on Thursday he'll be here, and we will be doing... I'm not going to tell you what we're going to be doing because I'll let it be a surprise to you. But more great stuff coming for you this week. I appreciate your time, your energy, and spending these 25, almost 26 minutes with me. So have a great evening or whatever it is when you're watching this. Until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo. Disengaged.